I'd like to start the public session. I do not have anybody signed up to speak. Would anyone in the audience like to speak? Miles. State your address. She will once you're done. State your address. Keep your comments under 5 minutes. Try not to say anything too mean.
How do you expect me to hold that back? Anyways, the last couple of weeks I've been listening to, I guess the word would be gossip, embellished theory on how to run government in this city. I don't know what they're reading. I don't know, it must be comic books, or maybe it's something out of Washington, D.C. They're watching too much of that going on down there, because I've never heard of such stories that have been going on around here. Kevin, I think your nameplate's off there. Is that a nameplate there? Ah, I see all the microphones are red. That means everybody gets to talk. You too, Bill. Anyway, I had a history lesson here last week, 2 weeks ago, about wars. Now I'm going to talk to you about some past spending wars. Previous administration. You know, if anybody complains about this operation, they ought to be able to read some of the stuff I got here. This is under Mayor Hamel's administration, a lawyer named Paul Nolan. We all know and love him well. He was big on that high dam up there, and then the demise of the steam station and the taxes. The bill on his price tag was $5.5 million. Now, if you guys are spending that kind of money here, you're going to catch up with Terry in a hurry. Then the other guy was an architect, Thomas O'Day. He's another one, isn't he, Steve? $660,000 for 1 year. Now, you guys haven't even come close to that kind of spending yet, and I hope, and I have the utmost faith in this administration and you all, their counselors, that this will be under control here, and I think the next 6 years will be very good for this city. I like what's going on. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak during public session? See none, I will close public session. And Mercedes, if it's okay with you, do you want to start the presentation now? Okay. Mercedes and the volunteers from the Lighthouse Committee and the Lighthouse Restoration Project are here to give an update on the good work they're doing. And I do believe we have a, we do have a tour scheduled for the new counselors to go out there. Yes. I will join because I'll never pass up an opportunity to go out there. And I just want to take a moment and thank the volunteers at the Lighthouse. I've been out a few times and have seen firsthand the good work that you've done. I very much am looking forward to spending some of the grant money we know we have coming and getting some more work done to revitalize the Lighthouse and bring it back to the place it once was. So if I could offer them, Common Council, a round of applause for the good work they do, they very much deserve it. And we appreciate it. So Mercedes, take it away.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, it's really an honor to work on the Lighthouse. This is a very important symbol of our community. I'm sure you've seen the symbol of it everywhere, whether it's a business or a not-for-profit or a bank or whatever. People in Oswego really identify with that lighthouse. So it's a pleasure for us. Part of the lease agreement that we have with you is that we would do a presentation once a year, and we asked the mayor if we could take some time to talk to you. In case you have any questions or concerns, we're happy to help answer that. I have quite a few of my board members here, as well as our volunteers, and also our curator, Michael Pitavino, is here. Right here, Michael. Who has been a huge addition to our organization and has made it possible for us to do the things that we're able to do in relation to the Lighthouse. I also want to take a moment to thank Pathfinder Bank for their generous donation towards a brand new Lighthouse exhibit. If you have not been in the museum, in the last year and a half. Michael and some of our volunteers did a spectacular job with this new exhibit, and that extends to labels and interpretive information at the lighthouse as well. So we're going to start with the timeline. Yay! It works. Technology, right? So there's, of course, our wonderful picture. And a few years ago when we were doing an auction for the lighthouse and had a campaign to raise some money towards it, created this wonderful logo that says love our lighthouse. And you can see it's a pretty vibrant and exciting look. So in the year 2000, thanks to the efforts of the Heritage Foundation of Oswego County, the lighthouse was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. And, you know, that didn't mean much as far as access goes or interpretation, but at least elevating the historic value of the lighthouse in our community and in our state and across the country. It also opened up the opportunity for potential grants. In 2006, the lighthouse was made available under the National Historic Lighthouse Preservation Act. We were notified by a representative from SHPO that it was on the list, and we notified the city. And the city, we worked with the Community Development Office at that time, and we partnered to come up with the plan and submit an application, but that plan had to be very thorough because they don't just say, oh, here's a property, a historic property, here, just go ahead and take it. We had to submit a very comprehensive plan of what we wanted to do with the lighthouse, not just us, but the city as well. So this is an incredible example of, you know, city and the not-for-profit world partnering in a big way. And I would say a very successful, and it'll look really good in a few months, we hope. In 2009, you could see the time frame there, 3 years. The lighthouse was finally awarded to the city of Oswego, and the deed was transferred. In 2010, the city created a Oswego Lighthouse Development Committee, and at that time is when Ted Panyatoff came to town, he and his wife Jo, and, you know, young retirees, maybe not quite super young, but young enough, with energy and knowledge. Ted had been through a lighthouse restoration in Rockland, Maine. He has an engineering background, and that was a successful project, by the way. And they opened our eyes to what the possibility of lighthouses and lighthouse tourism could be. They purchased a home here. They invested their time, their energy, their money. Their one daughter moved here with her family. So there really is quite an amazing extension of benefits that have come as a result of this. Ted said to us, yes, you can renovate it and you can open it to the public. We weren't so sure, but Ted said, I'll show you how. Now, the committee, being affiliated with the government, was a little bit stalled, as you can imagine. So we talked a little bit, and we said, okay, well, I'll get on at that in just a minute. In 2011, the city was successful in securing a grant from the Canal Corporation to remove the hazardous materials that were in the lighthouse. That made it possible, once that was done, that we could actually put our volunteers in there. Otherwise, they could not go in there, or anyone else safely, for that matter. What were some of the hazardous materials? Well, some lead paint, asbestos tiles, and a whole lot of bird guano, which is not pleasant, as you can imagine. So with that cleaned out, we began the restoration project in 2012-2013. Again, Ted started, you know, the plan, thank goodness for Ted. So we started pulling a volunteer force together. A lot of people wanted to help out, and we've coordinated volunteers. I myself have done it for 28 years, and it was a pleasure to have all these people step up and get excited and enthused and offer their talents and expertise. In 2014, to streamline things, make it a little more efficient, we proposed to take on a lease with the city so that we could just go ahead and just, start things moving a little bit faster. And that was done, not sure if it was concluded in 2014. Does anybody remember exactly? But it took about a year and a half, because we've not done this before. This is a whole different horse in some ways. So that work has been done, and you're going to see some pictures. You all did get a copy of this presentation. Again, we had a wonderful volunteer who said, when you're with a not-for-profit, you learn how to hustle a little bit. So one of our board members at the time, he went to the boat show in Syracuse, and he was able to secure a pontoon boat for us. She's not new by any means, but she got us around for that first season. The engine, you could hear it coming from a ways away, so that was a little tough. But we were able to open the lighthouse for the first ever boat tours, and it really was spectacular. People came from all over. Oswegonians who were coming back for a visit said, "This is on my bucket list. I'm so excited." And so that started our first half season. Then we followed with a full season last year, and again this year as well. The workers, the volunteers, have been just incredible, and I'm going to maybe have our lead volunteer coordinator and restoration coordinator say a few words if you'd like. The interior restoration is almost complete, and of course working with the city and with the generous funds that Assemblyman Barkley provided and Mayor Barlow, we expect to have exterior restoration work done pretty soon. Rick, do you want to, well, let's see, while you're standing here. Wanted to just, the next page, the volunteer hours since 2015 is almost 4,500 hours. So you can say your community is behind this, and they're enthusiastic and excited about this project. The value of that is about $125,000. Those numbers are excellent because they help the city and the museum apply for grants. That's part of our investment in the project, and we can use that as matching money. We were able to secure some grant money through the National Trust for Historic Preservation and the Preservation League, and the Pomeroy Foundation provided the money for the lighthouse plaque. It was interesting with the National Trust and the Preservation League because, as you know, with grants, the timing is not always the same, and so we heard back from the Preservation League that they would fund the initial grant survey. The National Trust was taking longer. So when they came back and said, hey, we want to give you that money for the survey, we said, well, we've already gotten the money from the Preservation League. They said, yeah, but we want to be part of this project. So come up with another grant that we can put this money towards, another project. So that shows you the level beyond the city of Oswego of commitment to this lighthouse project. And again, as Michael had put in the note below, these numbers do not reflect our staff time, our insurance. Once we put the pontoon boat in the water and you get the public out on the water, I'm sure you would not be surprised our insurance went up 25%. Administrative costs, fuel, etc., etc. So this is Rick King, and good friend to Ted's. And then Ted and his wife moved out of town and said, Rick, you're in charge. So here you go, Rick.
You want to flip those over? I appreciate the opportunity to make this presentation to you. You can see on the screen what the Lantern Room looked like when it was initially opened up and the condition it was in, and how it looks today. We started at the top, naturally, and have worked our way down over the last 4 years. And it's been a work of love, I would have to say, for most of the people involved. Looking forward to continuing this process, and each of the pictures, if you wanted to.
I'm listening intently.
The level below the light is the signal room. So those of you that have not been out there, I would like to personally invite you to join us. I know the mayor has been there, as he indicated, several times, and it's certainly worthwhile to see what the facility looks like. In fact, the city's money and some of the grant funding, the support that we've gotten has been extremely important to the work that we've done. But signal room has changed quite a bit. Moving down to the next level, if Bruce would click that, is area called the radio room. This is the area where the living quarters were located. We have a radio room there, a bedroom, a bathroom, kitchen, and I believe that we have the slides for each of those areas. But the rooms, we had to do major work as far as repairing ceiling where plaster had come down, repairing walls, stripping all of the woodwork, the casings, basically refinishing everything and putting it back to as close to the original condition as we possibly could. We still have a lot of work to do on the hardwood floors. We removed the tile that was throughout that living quarters area the Coast Guard had put in to hopefully restore the wood to the original condition that it was in when the lighthouse was opened. Walking down a stairwell from that living quarter area, you come to the basement. You can see one of our volunteers updating some of the painting on the stair railings. And if you look at the condition on the before photo compared to the after, a large part of the basement has been worked on the walls. We still have a couple of walls in that area that need to be replastered. But it's a significant change, along with some work that we've done on the outside, which is primarily, or the work has been concentrated on the inside. I would say if anyone has any particular questions, I'd be happy to answer them. If we can get you out there, those of you that haven't been there, perhaps some of you that have grown up here may have done it illegally, walking out the break wall. Be happy to see that you get a private tour on the 21st if there is time with the plaque ceremony, or at any other time that you'd like to go. We'd be happy to give you more information on it and a close-up experience of seeing what's been done.
Thursday morning, the work crew goes out, so if you feel an urge to chip paint, I'm sure they'd be happy to take you out there and put you to work.
I'll take your name for that.
So public access part, that was part of, making this accessible to the public, education opportunities, interpreting the history of it. These are the first, this is the first group that went out to the lighthouse, and that was in July of 2016. This was a lady who was a retired professor from the college and her family. We have our deckhand, Steve Glenn, who's a local person, and Captain Andy, and I can't say Andy's last name because it's a very long G word, but he's been great. We have, tonight we have Captain Dwayne Morton right here, and deckhand is Doug Hempel from here as well. Right, I get all the captains and such. So we have a team of about 4 captains, and I'd say maybe 3 or 4 deckhands. We have some of that fill in to make sure that this is a safe experience for everybody. We do have life jackets. You don't have to wear one unless you're 12 or under. But it is a great experience, and as I said, a lot of people who may have moved away from Oswego and came back said, hey, this is a bucket list item, so that they can check off. Our tours actually start June 22nd and 23rd, this couple weeks, Friday, Saturday, but we did have an opportunity to work with the SUNY Alumni Office this past weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and their reunion group that came in, and those folks got to go out and experience the lighthouse as well. So it was really exciting. And then finally, we were able to secure through the Pomeroy Foundation a National Register plaque, and this is a photo of the plaque. It will be affixed to the building when it's all beautiful and looking spiffy after we've spent some of your money, Mayor. And those of you, we do have a dedication of that plaque on the 21st. You should have received an invitation. And just let us know. We're fortunate because Dwayne will allow us to use his big boat, so you will not have to pontoon back and forth because you can only take 6 people on a pontoon boat. We have had quite a few programs about the lighthouse. We've had activities, events. Something that's very exciting is Ted Panyatov, working along with our Michael Pittavino, have put together one of the Arcadia Publishing books of Oswego lighthouses and the life-saving station. And that is available for sale in about a week or so. You can come down and pre-order your book if you'd like, and I'm sure we could get a nice signature on it for you. So that is a great gift for Christmas or whatever. Hint, hint, hint. So that is really the whole shebang.
Lise, how much is it for a lighthouse tour? Yeah, I'll give you a round of applause, I suppose.
Well, it is $20 a person, and that is a person because even if we have a child, it's the same amount of space on the boat. So the fuel's the same, the captain's the same, et cetera, et cetera. So it's $20. We tried to keep it a reasonable price because of our community, and buy miles. It's really worth it. And the other piece to it, it takes you about 15 minutes or so to go puttering out. You spend about an hour in the lighthouse and then about 15 minutes to putter back. So you really need to allocate a 2-hour trip. In addition to that, we are very fortunate because there are days when Ned Gabisher, Ned right here, is one of the guides, and Ned actually served at the lighthouse. The other person is Bob Godey, Bob's grandfather served at the lighthouse. This is not a common thing to happen, to have people of that lineage doing tours at anything, frankly. Some years ago, we had Joe Morabito, who was a World War II veteran, and he was doing tours of the LT-5, and people came from all over to get Joe's tour because of the honor and respect of these folks who had served. So we're really, really fortunate.
And then, of course, the money that people pay to go out there goes back into the work
Yes.
that goes in Lighthouse. And it said in the PowerPoint about 730-something tours given since 2016.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's great. And can you just so I know to advertise, the days and times tours are available? Is it Monday through Friday?
Friday and Saturday afternoons, 1:30 to about 4. And certainly if we have a long line, we keep it up. Best to reserve ahead of time, because it's first come, first serve kind of thing.
Can you tell me the time again?
I'm sorry,
Can you just tell me the time again?
1:30 to 4. Now, that doesn't mean you're at the lighthouse from 1:30 to 4. We offer tours on the 30-minute, half hour, so that the boat keeps going back and forth. And that also includes free admission to the Maritime Museum, which is an $8 value.
Great. In the PowerPoint, you say a lot of the interior work is done or has been done.
Very close.
Can you tell us what the... well, first, I think I probably owe the Lighthouse Committee an update, right? The funding Mercedes spoke about is $100,000 from Assemblyman Barkley, and during my State of the City earlier this year, we pledged another $75,000 to supplement that $100,000. The bid for that work and the scope of work for that work includes full exterior painting, some structural improvements, roof repair and roof painting, and then depending on how that bid comes back, I'd like to include some gutter work, because I know after talking to some members of the committee that the gutters out there need work, but we'll have to see. The bid, or the scope of work in the bid should go out at the end of this week, next week at the latest. So I will shoot you an email when that bid actually goes out, but will not be later, should not be later than next week. So in addition to that work that I just mentioned to be covered by the $175,000, what is the scope of work that the committee, do you have any work that you have outlined besides what I just mentioned?
As far as the exterior, no, not as far as the volunteers. There certainly is additional work that needs to be done to the structure itself, the concrete caisson and the deck area below what's called the parapet wall needs some additional repair. We have been doing that, sealing some cracks in it and working on that over the last 4 years. But at some point in time, that will have to be addressed. But our focus is primarily on the interior and finishing the basement. And then because of the challenges of the weather, obviously, that the structure receives during the winter, we figure that probably every 2 years we start painting at the top, interior, and working our way back down again. And that'll just be a matter of ongoing maintenance.
Great. Well, that's I think that's all the questions I have. I'll say again, you know, we're doing our best on the city side to get the $175,000 moving. I know it's been a while for the 100. The 75 I pledged in January, so if we turn that around this year by government standards, that's actually pretty quick.
Very good.
I just very much appreciate the work you are doing. It's meaningful to me personally because I grew up here, went to school out west for 4 years, and lived out there another year. And the lighthouse, when I came home, was always the first thing I wanted to see. And my parents would send me postcards with the lighthouse and Oswego memorabilia. So it's just symbolic. It's iconic, and I very much believe in the project. And I know that it has the support of the community because I hear people both complaining that they'd like to see it restored quickly, and both in talking about how much of a gem it really is and how unique it makes our community. So I very much appreciate the work you do. I know our community does, and I will see you when we all go out to tour here in a few weeks, and I'm sure that I will bring at least my parents out again this summer because I know they enjoyed it, and I look forward to it. So if dogs could go out on the tour, you know, we're really bringing animals into the... Oh, okay. But again, thank you, and look forward to working with them. Please, going forward, let us know how we can be, continue to let us know how we can be helpful, and we'll do the best. As long as I'm here, we'll do the best we can. Any of the councilors have any questions or comments?
No.
It's really a pleasure, honestly, to work on something so spectacular. I think everyone enjoys it, and they'll do just about anything. And if
A labor of love.
labor of love, for sure.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Again, thank you. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We please for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
His Honor the Mayor,
Here.
Councilman McBurney,
Here.
Councilor Hill,
Here.
Councilor DeMassey,
She's excused.
Councilor Lamont,
Here.
Councilor Bozick,
Here.
Councilor Tesorio,
Here.
Councilor Cardenas.
Here.
6 councilors present, 1 excused, Your Honor.
Thank you. I do not have anything. Well, I do have one thing. It's been widely publicized, but the Oswego Dog Park did officially open up last Thursday at 6:30, located out at 375 Mitchell Street. And I would just ask publicly that folks obey the rule sign that is put up in front of the park. We've made bags and several garbage cans available to clean up after your pet. We ask that while you're out there, please keep the children from playing on some of the equipment and just care for the park. I'd like to applaud once again the DPW for the 2 months of hard work that, on top of all of their other duties and regular constituent services that they provide, in addition to some other projects we have them on. They did a fabulous job without too much interruption of city service, so thank you, Commissioner Kells, and all those involved in the construction of the park. But also thank you to the council for your support behind the park as well. So anyway, just please take care of the park, look after the park while you're out there, and try to be responsible and respectful so that it is easy to maintain and can stay around for years to come. I would say the park is open really dawn to dusk, and we'd appreciate if people try to not go in the park when it's dark. So far, I will say, it has been, I would say, successful. A lot of friends and individuals text me over the weekend, just experiencing the park for the first time, and said the dogs were being behaved, people were being responsible, and it's just been a great place to hang out. So far, good reviews. one note that I have heard is water. In my urgency to get the park open, we opened it, but we do fully intend to lay down a water line. There's city infrastructure all the way around the site, so it really won't be that hard. It was just a matter of getting it open. I'd like to get the DPW crew in some other areas that we need to catch up on, and then we'll get back and lay a line down. Shouldn't be too long and won't be too difficult. So that will be installed later this summer. Other than that, I'd just like to thank everybody, thank all those who attended the ribbon cutting, about 150 people by my count. So I think that speaks volumes to the support it has. Other than that, that's all I have. Any counselors have any comments? Oh, and thank you to Councilor McBrearty, who volunteered her Saturday morning to join the tree stewards down at Brightbeck Park and did a nice job. And with all the other tree stewards, thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, clerk, please call Resolution 202.
Resolution 202 would approve the minutes of the Common Council meeting held May 29th, 2018.
Councilor Hill, Councilor Tesoriero, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Bozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorero?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 203.
Resolution 203 would appoint Commissioner of Deeds.
Councilor Cordino, Councilor Gozick, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Bozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorero?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 204.
Resolution 204, approve use of public space. Brandon Porter, owner of a single-family dwelling at 46 East Seneca Street, in order to install a fence.
Councilor McBrearty, Councilor Tesorero, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorero?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 205.
Resolution 205, approve use of public space for the Oswego Bookmobile Summer Program.
Councilor McBrearty, Councilor Gozick, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorero?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 206.
Resolution 206, approve renaming a portion of East Albany Street in front of the Oswego Speedway as Caruso Brothers Memorial Boulevard.
Councilor Tesorero, Councilor Wilmot, any comments? Councilor Tesorero.
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment. This is very important to the Crusoe family. It mainly was named after Harry Crusoe, but there was more brothers involved. So this brings to kind of some sort of justice that there was more people involved. And I know it's very important to Romy and his family that this got renamed to what it did, because there was more than one Crusoe brother involved in that. So very important to them, very important legacy of the city of Oswego, very big part of the city of Oswego, and hopefully it remains part of the city for a while. So I support this 100%. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Bozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorero?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 207.
Resolution 207, authorize mayor to enter into an agreement with Bonadio Group for an IT assessment of the City of Oswego technology infrastructure, and to further authorize a transfer of funds from the contingent account to pay for same.
Councilor Cordino, Councilor Hill, any comments? Councilor Cordino.
Thank you, Mayor. I think we discussed this particular item at committee level last time,
And I think we all agree that there's some issues. In the last 6 months, the city has experienced a growth in the usage of our technology. Number one, we did change over our purchasing to Onondaga County, which necessitated some upgrades in our computer system, and switches and servers, and a lot of things that I don't even know about. In addition to that, we've gone to paperless agenda, and the tablets also are something that we're using more and more, which puts pressure and more work on our IT department. In addition, we've got some other issues with phones. As everybody knows, we had a new phone system called Voice over Internet Protocol, which uses the Internet. And that exposed some of our issues and problems and our shortcomings when it comes to technology. So this particular company, the Bonadillo Group, had done an assessment of Oswego County recently as well, and found some glaring issues and problems for them. So I think this is money well spent in identifying some of our problems and some of our issues. And just be aware that what we're authorizing here is just an analysis, just a report. It doesn't fund any fixes or any repairs. So whatever is discovered during the report, we will be revisiting and have to probably make a decision down the road on if or when we fix things. So I appreciate everybody's support. I support this. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other comments? I'd just like to thank Councilor Corradino for spearheading the effort and stepping up to correct some of the problems. We've really had some major issues with email going down. At one point, I don't think I had email for like 4 days, and phone calls were being dropped or not coming through at all. So really something needed to be done. It's really almost like, you know, bend down to tie your shoe and figure out what else you can fix while you're down there. So that's what this analysis will do, and it's really long overdue in my opinion, because technology has certainly evolved, and I think we're doing our best to bring it back up with where it needs to be, but need some help understanding really some of the other issues, including security, which is another major part that is coming to light lately. So thank you, Councilor. Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McCready?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorelli?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 208.
Authorize mayor to sign change order number 3 with W.D. Malone Trucking and Excavating for the sanitary sewer rehabilitation, Area 2, final quantity summary.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor Wilmot. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McCready?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorelli?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 209.
Authorize mayor to execute a 5-year agreement with the Camden Group Incorporated for services at the wastewater department.
Councilor Tesorario, Councilor Corradino. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McCready?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorelli?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 210.
Authorize mayor to execute a participation agreement with the Northeast Regional Council of Carpenters.
Councilor Hill, Councilor McBride. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McCready?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Abstain.
Councilor Gozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesorelli?
Yes.
Resolution passes 6-0, 1 absent, 1 absent.
Clerk, please.
Oh, 5, yes, I'm sorry.
Clerk, please call Resolution 211.
211, authorize mayor to enter into an agreement with the New York State Department of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation for a public utility easement.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor Wilmot. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor Gozick?
Yes.
Counselor Tesarerio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 212.
Authorize mayor to sign the proposal submitted by the Camden Group Incorporated for modifications to the chlorine feed system at the water treatment plant.
Councilor Tesorerio, Councilor Corradino. We brought Camden Group into our sewage treatment facilities in 2016, and we've invested a significant amount of money over the last 2.5 years to bring those facilities back into the condition they should be. Both facilities were victims of deferred maintenance and lack of investment really since they were built over 30 years ago. Now, I don't know if a dime's been put into them since they were built, and if you walked into either treatment plant in January of 2016 and you walk into them today, they look and operate completely different for the better. I give a lot of that credit to Camden Group and obviously the Common Council, both the Common Council I worked with my first 2 years as mayor and this Common Council for supporting the level of investment and seeing the bigger picture. As I said at the dog park, it's really easy to sit up here and say, well, we shouldn't spend any money and we'll be better off because of it. Actually, I tend to think the opposite is true, is if you invest back into the city and improve your facilities and improve the operation and enhance public amenities and offer better quality services, then your community is worth more, becomes more valuable, and moves forward and improves. So I again applaud the Common Council for investing and seeing the bigger picture and turning these facilities around. Having said that, now that we've restored to a certain extent the sewage facilities, we have to turn our eyes to the water plant, which the same story applies there, unfortunately. And as we say, we are not going to leave our successors with the same problems that we've been left. So it's really time to turn our attention to the water plant. We've already made some improvements. This will be a major improvement, but and look for more work to be done at the water plant and more money to be spent at the water plant to restore that facility as well. Any comments from the council? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor Gozick?
Yes.
Counselor Tesarerio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 213.
Approve transfer of funds from the general fund contingent account to community development for the promotion of the 2018 summer concert series.
Councilor Hill, Councilor Corradino. Any comments? Councilor Hill.
I just wanted to thank the mayor for providing the investment in amenities like the summer concert series that are relatively small when compared to other expenses of the city, but provide a tremendous value. We continue to see the concert series grow each year, and last year we saw thousands of spectators. We anticipate this year will be better. We're bringing in better bands, bigger bands, and I look forward to continuing to work on this and continuing to invest in things that provide a big value for our residents. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor Gozick?
Yes.
Counselor Tesarerio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 214.
Approve transfer of funds from the general fund contingent account to the tourism miscellaneous expense account for use by the Promotion and Tourism Advisory Board.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor Tesorerio. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino?
Abstain.
Counselor McBrearty?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor Gozick?
Yes.
Counselor Tesarerio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 5, passed with 1 absent, 1 abstention.
Clerk, please call Resolution 215.
Approve transfer of funds from the Water Fund contingent account to various Water Department accounts.
Councilor Hill, Councilor McBrady. Again, goes back to my comments. We're just going to start knocking out some work and some projects at the water plant. Any comments from the council? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBurney?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesereria?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 216.
Approve attendance at various courses at the SUNY Morrisville Environmental Training Center in Morrisville, New York during the months of September through December 2018 at the request of Kenneth Shearable, Wastewater Department.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor Cordino. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBurney?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesereria?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 217.
Approve attendance at the New York State Public Employers Labor Relations Association Annual Conference to be held July 17th through the 20th, 2018 in Saratoga Springs, New York, at the request of Nancy C. Stereo, Personnel Director.
Councilor Tesorerio, Councilor McBrady. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBurney?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesereria?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 218.
Approve attendance at the 63rd Annual New York State Conference of Mayors Fall Training School to be held September 23rd through the 28th, 2018 in Lake Placid, New York, at the request of Deborah P. Code, City Chamberlain.
Councilor Cordino, Councilor Tesorerio. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBurney?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesereria?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 219.
Approve attendance at the 63rd Annual New York State Conference of Mayors Fall Training School to be held September 23rd through the 28th, 2018 in Lake Placid, New York, at the request of Deborah P. Code, City Chamberlain, for staff.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor Hill. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBurney?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesereria?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 220.
Resolution 220, a motion to move into executive session to discuss proposed, pending, or current litigation.
Councilor Cordino, Councilor Tesorerio. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBurney?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot?
Yes.
Councilor Gozick?
Yes.
Councilor Tesereria?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
We will now move to executive session. You can give me that book. I'm not going. They don't need it. Do we need it? Can I have a raise of hands to come out of executive session?
No, we need a motion and a
Oh.
second.
I need a motion and a second to come out of executive session. Councilor Cordino, Councilor Hill.
Now
Clerk.
show of hands.
Now a show of hands to come out of executive session. I'm sorry. Put your hand up. Put your hand up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
your
you.
hand up.
Thank you. What's the...
This would be resolution 1. And the clerk does have a resolution.
Ready?
Yeah, will clerk please call Resolution 221?
Resolution 221 is a resolution authorizing settlement of a civil lawsuit against the City of Oswego for the sum of $6,000.
Counselor Hill, Counselor McCreary. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBurney? Yes. Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor Gozick?
Yes.
Counselor Tesorero?
Abstain.
Okay, resolution passes 5 with 1 absent and 1 abstention.
Motion to adjourn? Counselor Hill, Counselor Tesorario. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBurney? Yes. Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor Gozick?
Yes.
Counselor Tesorero?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Meeting is adjourned.